Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. So, what we're doing in today's video. So previously, I did some of my own loads in 7mm 08. I'm getting ahead of myself here. And what I did was, I did some horse trading for these really old projectiles. The price tag says $977 for 100 of these Sierras 175 grainers. 284 projectiles. They looked old and corroded. In the previous video, I tumbled them, got them all shiny looking. And then I did some testing. I did a bunch of test loads. I still have all the writing on this box right here of the different grain weights of 4831. And it liked one the best, by far, kind of. So, now what I'm going to do, I still have this bullet seating die set up for the exact overall length. So I said, before I change that over to something else, I'm just going to load a whole box full. I've got a whole tray here full of once fired 7mm 08. Actually, some of this is twice fired. The rest of this is once fired. But, and I'm going to load that whole box. I'm just going to load this whole box of projectiles. And then I'll have some for when I need my best load so far for 7mm 08. And it'd be kind of cool to catch a deer with this stuff too. I've already filmed a video taking a deer with core locked 140 grainers. Check that video if you're a 7mm 08 lover. Dropped it with 7mm 08. But I'm going to load all these. I probably should save some for another project. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to get to loading. And yeah, this is the one that I had right now that was in that video. It's a Ruger American Gen 2. Hold on. Man, my phone's been ringing off the hook today. This is a Ruger American Gen 2. Yeah, they got fluted barrels, all that stuff, new stocks. On top, I got a Arkin EPL4. It's a good optic. Yeah, might be kind of fun too. Actually, we're going to do this. I'll chronograph this and all this, and when I go do long range stuff, I'll take this rig out long range and just have some fun and document that load. But let's get to it and get these done up. All right, so I just counted, I've got 48 of these projectiles left, so I'm going to load all those. Now I've got them in my Frankfurt Arsenal number 5 tray. That makes things handy. And first step, never forget this. Case lube. This is the Frankfurt Arsenal case lube. Spritzer works good. I'm going to go outside and spritz all these from all angles. Ask me how I know that you don't want to forget this. The very first time I started using this press, this was the Frankfurt Arsenal M press. I was in a hurry, and this was in the mail. And I said, I'm going to try to load some 6 Creedmoor. Very first one, boom! Locked it up, and I completely destroyed that die trying to get it set up. And before I forget, I just put this in here. This is that RCBS 7mm 08 die. And I just set the depth. This is gonna size our brass and knock the primers out at the same time. All these still have the primers. And then we'll be ready to go. But I'm gonna run outside and spritz them all up with this real good. All right, so I got these all spritzed up. Whew. And now what I'm gonna do is just one at a time, get them in here. Like I said, I already set my die depth there. And make sure we got everything set right. Knock the primer out. And we didn't get it stuck because we put all that case lube in here. Now I'm just gonna, I like moving these over to a new set because I'll get in the zone and just start putting them down and forget which one I did, and then I waste time looking at all this stuff. So I like using a new tray. So I'm gonna sit here and do this for all 50 of these, and then we'll be ready for the next step here. So let me do this whole tray here. knocking the primers out and sizing the brass. Alright, so we sized all this 7mm 08 brass with the sizing die. Same time we knocked out all the old primers. Now I've got to take all that brass and put new primers in them. If you've never seen this before, this is the Frankfurt Arsenal hand primer tool. It's super easy. It has different sizes there depending on what you're doing, but at the end of the day, you put your primers in there. I got 50 in there. And then you got to open this little gate here. And it drops a primer down in there one at a time. So I'm going to try one here. Push it up in there. And that looks about perfect. I'm good with that. This has adjustment on it with that wheel right there that you can adjust the primer depth, but I'm good with that. I might actually back it off just a smidge, but I'm gonna do this whole tray putting primers in with this thing. All right, and I think I misspoke earlier. I am not using the 4831. I'm using the Varget. I think I misspoke at the beginning of the video, but I'm just going to type in the load here. I already calibrated this. This is my Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper. Already calibrated it. I got a whole video on how to do that if you want to check it out. So I'm just going to type in the load, and I'm going to do it this way right here. And it's going to feed it out. And I'm going to use my funnel right here. Since it's 7mm 08, I put the 284 bottom in there. And once that gives me the charge that I'm looking for, I'm going to dump it in here. Beep, beep. There we go. Beeped semi-stable. Then I'm going to put it in there. And just to help keep me straight, I'm going to go ahead and move that over to my new tray. Then I'm going to do this whole thing. Load it up with the exact same recipe. And then we'll be on to the boo-lots. Alright, so that was probably the most time-consuming part. Sized them, knocked the brass out. Now we got the powders in there. You're probably not going to be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it in there. So now, I told you I already had this is my Boo-Lot seating die. So, I think I got it right here. My set. And that is Frankfurt Arsenal as well. I actually got this in a class I took. My first time learning how to do this stuff. If you're apprehensive or not sure about it, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. But I already have my seating depth set on this. So what I'm going to do now, I got one of those pieces of brass there. And then I'm going to take one of these. And then I'm going to carefully place it in there. First couple ones I'm going to go real slow and just make sure it's all on the up and up. But press it. And now I am going to take my calipers. So I normally keep a set at my desk right here for a bunch of different reasons. Measuring stuff and measuring groups over here. Let me take my calipers. Zero it out. And check my overall length here. I think I messed that zero up. Nope, still good. Check my overall length. So that's coming in at 2.798. So right at a 2.80. I'm gonna double check that, and if I'm good with it, we're gonna do this whole tray of them. But man, pretty slick, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and test fit that in my 7mm .08. Run it through the mag. Ooh, yeah, you can see how it's almost as long as it'll fit in that mag with those 175s. Let's just test fit it. Went in there slightly rough. Let's try it one more time. I know we're not up in the lands. That went good. So let me make sure I got my overall length good. And then I'm gonna fill this whole baby up. And we're gonna be ready to go for a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this thing up. Now we're ready to hit the range. I got no more projectiles left. I thought I had 50 when I counted, but I must have miscounted. I got 2 spots left, but same for everything. The first run I did boom, 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 a bunch of different stuff. Then I found what worked best. This is my 7mm .08 secret sauce box. That's not all. We got to finish this video at the range and see how we did with this stuff. My phone's ringing. See y'all at the range here. All right, now I got my Banish 30 gold can on there. That's a silencer central can. Sent a bunch of rounds through that thing. It's a good can. And I got my secret sauce out here. So I need to chronograph it. If I remember, it's in the car. I already sent a test one down range and made sure it was on paper before we get crazy here. But this thing doesn't want a single feed, so I'm gonna feed them from the mag here. I don't want to burn all these, but make sure my secret sauce here is still on. See if we can do as good as we did last time. If I get ½ inch, I'll be happy, happy, happy. Here we go. All the zoomies on this one is 16 zoomies. Do my best here. Should not have got bumped or anything from last time, but you never know. It should be fairly close to being bullseye. Do my best here. Center target, let's just send 3. Hair low. And those 175s just sound kind of slow, which they should be slow. But this is a precision load here. Hopefully. Send another. It's in there. That one hit near bullseye. It's kind of cool when you make your own stuff and just test it out here at the range. And it does good. It's not that cool when it doesn't do good, but held slightly low on that one, but looks like it's still in there. At least better than 1 inch. Again, I don't want to burn a bunch of these up. This is my special. Put it on the shelf for when we need to go catch a deer with the 7mm .08 or send some long range. Let's just do another group of 3 on this target quick. Can barely see the hit, but it looks like it hit just right at bullseye. Whoa, that's good. I think if I do my part, this is a real nice precision load for 7mm .08. Yep. That's probably going to come in at the best group I've ever done with my own hand loads. That's the ultimate goal. Me to have one of those for every one of my bing bangs. Now, I do real good with some factory stuff. Takes a lot of testing. If you don't do this type of stuff, that's perfectly cool. Test it on some hand loads. You're going to find one normally. But man, that's good. I can't wait to measure that with the calipers. Let me bring you back here with that other camera. So look at that. That's crazy. 3 touching. We'll measure that with the calipers, like I said. But man, probably click it once to the left. That's a 100-yard berm. We got 200 at this range and the 50. But man, 100 yards, baby. Almost same hole. All right, so back at the house, I measured those groups with the calipers. The first one, that's not bad, 0.66. I'd be happy with that. Kind of happy. But in the 0.2s, putting that stuff together myself, man, that's just super cool. In the 0.2s, you guys saw the footage. But if you love 7mm 08, I got a bunch of videos on it. Like I said, I took a deer with it. It's one of my goals to take a deer on film with everything. So unfortunately, we already crossed 7mm 08 off the list. But we might do it again. Just using my own stuff because I think that'd be cool. The first one we took with 140 grain core locked. Almost forgot. I chronographed it. Let me put that in here quick. All right, and I just chronographed that. So 2168 feet per second. Definitely not fast, but like I said, I was going for precision. Those heavier 175s. I dig it. But now I got the speed data on it. So, it's definitely slow for 7mm 08. 2,168 feet per second. But it is with a 175 grainer. Standard 7mm 08 is like a 140 grain, going like 2,800 feet per second, 2,850 feet per second. So, it's like a 75% speed load. But we also have a considerable bump up in projectile weight. But I like speed. I like a lot of speed. But with this, when I bumped up the speed, it wasn't grouping good. So brought it back down to this, and we get the 0.2s. I'm happy, happy, happy. Now, even with those speeds, I think I could easily take it out to 500 yards or something. We could probably do 1,000, but it'd be doing this. But hey, appreciate you watching. Thanks for coming along with the video. This one was a whole lot of fun. If you like it, let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, go check out WHOTEEWHO.com. We got stuff on there like the sweatshirts, we got the hats, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And make sure you're signed up for the free newsletter. It's going to be a much more coming out on that newsletter. Opportunities to win a bunch of free stuff and all that. But hey, appreciate you watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. WHOTEEWHO.